My people, how are you today? I hope your Sunday is doing great. I hope it's as sunny as this one here in Wafo Musana Gwaka. Mwasivye mutia mwasuze mutia at the Asha Group was Roderick Foska. Sechanzi Hannington, Starch Events, Muri mutia abali mukamori abekwese. How are you doing today, guys? Mva mu gym, mva kwatam, obangezemu ko simanyi. Me, that's how I grow fat, by lifting weights. If I don't lift weights, I stay small. I was supposed to share the IST story yesterday, but yesterday was a very tough day. Yesterday we hosted Dr. Jonathan Chiwanuka in our studios, and I also went to do an inspection which was incomplete. That's a story I'll share probably tomorrow or Tuesday. I'll probably share it Tuesday. But it wasn't successful. It was a really tough day. It was a very tough day. But hopefully, Mukama atubeereranga ever. So I was able to finish it. Jonathan Ocheng, good evening. How do you pronounce that first name? Kosan? Sokoson? Or X-O-N? How do you pronounce that that first name of yours, Ocheng? So IST, we bought the IST the other day. And I wanted to share this story because it was an inspiration to me. The day we bought the IST, I was inspired beyond words. So I almost started sharing. So let me start from the beginning. But I hope your Sunday is well, Abari Mukamori. Mine is okay. Mukama akumye. The fatigue is halfway gone, I think. I feel more energetic. Yeah, I feel very, very, very energetic. You, good evening. Jonathan, and Wendy, I'm here. I'll always be here. Yes. Inalilahi. Baga sida mukama wanaba yagande. Alhamdulillah. No, that's not what they say. Good. I had learned that thing. Am I live, guys? I just stopped to switch networks. I've switched to Airtel now. So let's go for the drive as you guys come back. MTN seems to be more unstable than Airtel. So I have just switched from MTN to Airtel. Inshallah. Thank you very much, Staj. Inshallah. Agamba inshallah. So inshallah, zinja kubeeranga Ocheng. You need my service, I offer it. So apparently Airtel seems to be more stable than MTN now. The MTN network is, people keep saying MTN is more stable this side. Means that MTN is showing very, is proving to be very unstable. Kale muwereko nga 15. 15 tugende maaso ne story ya IST. There is a stretch on this road that it has been made smooth. No, it's actually okay. One more person and we continue with the story of the IST. Well, guys, welcome 15 again, so we can continue with the story. So a gentleman said, I want to go to the bond and you help me do inspection. And yeah, we don't talk for a week. It was just a text message. I didn't even know who he was. We had never met. But it seems when I met them later, I realized that both him and his wife were actually very good followers of mine, both on TikTok and on YouTube. And it was a Wednesday, so remember I run in the morning on Wednesday. So he calls me in the morning and I went to broadcast and I tell him, you know what, you come to my office. I direct him and I tell him, you know, but if you find that my phone is not on yet, when you come, just know I'm running, look for me in the field. And after running, I go ahead and freshen up and dress up, and then he arrives after I'm done running. So he finds some guys in the field and he asks them where Arthur is, because I wasn't in the field and my phone wasn't going through. And he came in a double cabin pickup. So the wife was also seated in the double cabin pickup. They had a driver. And I think it looked suspicious. So the guys told him, we know who Arthur is, but it seems like you want to look him up. And he says, but I don't want to look him up. The conversation that happened there, he's the one that told me about it. So, but as they were still talking, they see me and they tell him, Arthur, oh yeah, so he comes to me, they come with their double cabin and we briefly talk. We talk about the budget and all those things, and then we head out. So they followed me in their double cabin. I also drove my characters, and we headed out to Nakawa. And we were looking for a Toyota IST. Now, funny story, guys. There are a very few Toyota ISTs in bonds in Nakawa. I think that day we saw a total of 12 ISTs. Was it? 1, 2. Those are 2. We saw a total of 8 ISTs. Yeah. And there was one bond that we visited that had about 7. Actually, I think we saw 10 to 12, but only 2 were in different places. The remaining ones were in one bond, and they were all terrible, in terrible state. You know what it means to have a car that is a hot cake, and you're the only one that has many of them, but no one is buying them. They were bad, very bad bodywork. I think the other person just brings whatever grade of cars he can bring. So he had about 8 ISTs. It was the biggest population of ISTs in Nakawa, but they were all bad. Nambi. And when I say bad, he literally had 2008 models, 2009 models, 2010 models, but they were all bad cars. They have never been on Ugandan roads, but they were terrible. Even on site like this, even the aesthetics were nothing. So, but the first IST we looked at. So first, I think I've skipped a detail here. The gentleman was buying a car for his wife. The wife did not want black. There were three other ISTs we were told about, but they were all black. So they were out. That's how we end up seeing only about 10. She did not like black. She liked silver, mostly silver or white. She actually did not like white, but she preferred silver. So we go and see this particular IST, which was white. And when we see that, that's the first IST we saw, the white one. The moment we get to the IST, the lady says, you know what, I don't like white. And then that's where we got a setback. Then I tell her, you know what? You see, there are very few ISTs in bonds. Already three of them are black. Now here is white. We knew of one other IST apart from the white one. And then when she said she does not like white, she liked silver, there was that IST, the one we bought, the gray one. So that was the only option we had. So we see the white one, and the white one was 43. The guy asked for 43 and ended up at 42 million shillings. And all the ISTs we looked at had number plates, by the way, digital number plates. So when this gentleman, the Indian, says, I want 42 million shillings, we head out because they told us that the IST, the one that we eventually bought at 38, the owner wanted 39 million shillings. Yeah. So we thought this person saying 39 probably will sell to us at the 36. So we head out to the bond, to that bond, and we find that one actually had a few blemishes. Yeah. The bumpers, I think they resprayed them the next day, but the bumpers were to be resprayed, both bumpers. The spoiler, the mini spoiler that the IST has, also needed to be resprayed, and thorough washing, because the car we bought wasn't washed. Like, it had arrived, I think, 2 or 3 days from Mombasa, and it hadn't been washed, so it was dirty. So thorough washing, a bit of respraying, and we bought it at 38 million shillings. I think 38.2, 38 million shillings, 38,200,000 shillings. That's how much we bought that IST. So when we see this IST and the gentleman stops at 38.5, we go and we go back to the white one. No. Before we go to the white one, we went to see this other bond that had about, the one that I've told you about, that had about 8 ISTs. But surprisingly, all those ISTs were bad. Kangure greens. Kangure greens. So Kangure greens. I think this is what I'm going to do. Just watch me. You know, my Sunday is a shopping Sunday, and I want to shop these fresh things. Nakyo mpaako kimu. N'oluguudo ng'alinga atali wa leero. Wammeka oyo? Guliwo mulungi. Lwaki si guli? Aha, Nicholas Sebulime Chechiriwo. The volume is low? No, guys. Are you sure? After the previous Friday, I had a dream about us buying my car. Woke up that day and I'm like, hey, it's time to believe in my house. You're going to buy a car. Juma Ali, Chris Da Vinci. Moses Sebwede. I have evening broadcasts on Saturday and Sunday. To see me Bruce. Hi. WAMV Tech Hi. Sechanzi. Wow. So budget for IST must be more than 36 million. Actually, I think you should have a budget of 40 million shillings if you're going to be buying an IST. Is the volume still low? I can shift the microphone to my body. Kale, Kale. I can shift the microphone to my body if you guys say the volume. How do you get a new car and you drive it in a dusty road uh, with windows down? Oyo mwana wa characters oyo ali muvuga mu kkubo ly'enfuufu endabirwamu ziri wansi. And when people start buying your cars very cheaply, you say abasuubuzi baseera, abasuubuzi bamanyiira, abasuubuzi bavuluga. You're driving your car, you're dirtying the inside of your car. The volume is good, okay. Katola bwe yavuga UBM naye endabirwamu ze ziri waggulu. So you find that car more expensive than the Ractis UBR, and you'll be asking yourself why. Because the UBM's Raum has been kept clean. The guys that have bought their cars this year, when you drive on a dusty road like this, your windows should always be up. Always. So anyway, guys, we went to this bond where they were like, it's the first time I'm seeing. We go to the bond, and before we even take her to Kebede, the buyer says it's in a motor kambi, and there were like 6 options. I would actually think the buyer would say, let us see if we can get cheaper. They were not willing to say, let us get cheaper. They just said, let us go. So we went back and looked at the IST, the first IST, the white one. We saw the one that was where the seller asked for 42 million shillings. And we went back to see garage. Garage. And then we found out it looked really good, but my suspicions were confirmed because there are bonds there in the Kawanga, but in a garage. So they go and fix it up, you'll end up buying a car that looks good very expensively at the expense, and you end up losing like 2 million shillings, 3 million shillings, simply because you don't want to buy a car. Now I'm going to do a bit of math here. The car we bought at 38.2 million shillings had a few body scratches, which we needed to repair. The car that was being sold at 42 million shillings, the white one, had no body repairs to be done. But the car we bought at 38.2 had alloy rims, or what we call sport rims in Uganda. The one at 42 million shillings had no sport rims. It had ordinary steel rims. Everybody would prefer the alloy rims. Now, let me do the math here. If you buy a car that has normal steel rims, if you end up wanting alloy rims, just for you to understand, alloy rims are light on the vehicle. So when you're driving a car that has steel rims, they are a little bit heavier. They are longer lasting, but they are heavier. Alloy rims or sport rims make your car look better, but they are weaker. If you hit stones, they can break very quickly. But the one we bought at 38.2 had alloy rims, which made it look very good. And when we did the math, had we bought the IST of 42, we would be spending an extra of 3 million, because that's 2 million, actually an extra of 4 million. 2 million past 40 and 2 million here. So we would be spending 3.8 extra money just to buy a car that looked a little bit better. So we did the math with the person that was buying, and we said, you know what? If you buy this other IST that needs a few body repairs, you are going to buy it at 38, and you're going to invest an extra like a 500k, let's say, to make it look better. Yeah, that's one day's work. And when you do that, it will look as good as the one of 42. So how much will you be selling? You'll be saving more than 3 million shillings. That's a big saving. And you know, the IST of 42 did not have alloy rims, and I am sure they would have wanted alloy rims. So they would buy the car 42 million shillings and also end up spending an extra 1.2 or 1.5 on buying the sport rims. Network is poor. I don't know what to do for the network. Both networks, Airtel and MTN, are giving me hard time. But we are back. We are definitely back. Okay, personally, right now I'm finding that better to stream on a Samsung. Yeah, the Samsung gives me a hard time sometimes, but maybe I don't know how to use the iPhone for better streaming. I'm going to watch a few tutorials on that, but I've found it very bad at streaming. Very bad. I might have to exchange it for like a better Samsung, better than the 22 Ultra that I have. So that's what I'm thinking. So anyway, guys, I was comparing the IST to some other cars that one would be able to buy with 38 million shillings. With 38 million shillings, you add like a 10 ma, you add like a 10 ma, and you get a Subaru Forester 2014, 2013, 2013. Uh, at 38 million shillings, you deduct about 7 million shillings and get yourself a 2012 Subaru Impreza. You deduct 6 million and get yourself a 2013 Subaru Impreza. And a bunch of other Subarus that you can get there, a bunch of Mazdas. Yeah, there are so many cars that you can get in that budget that will give you better comfort. Yeah, they'll give you better comfort. They'll give you better prestige. Because the IST, it's us people that love cars that know that the IST is very expensive. But other people just love it and they actually think it's like 22 in the bone. Leica Mobile, I have a Leica Mobile line. Leica Mobile doesn't work this way. In a feature, whatever MTN Airtel's it works with. So that's how we bought. Hi, Council Patrick Asiku. So that's how we bought the IST at 38. If you ask me, I would have bought something else, but the heart wants what it wants. And remember, this was a car that it's a lady that was buying this car. So the lady liked the IST like nothing. I tried to show her other cars, but she did not like any of them. Yeah, yeah. We are back. I don't know what to do for the iPhone. I I have no idea what to do. But now I want a Samsung. I think I want the S23 Ultra now. Or S24 Ultra. Jerry Ultra at S24. Just know I now I want to upgrade. I think so, Nathan. I showed her the Wish, the newer, uh, the Vitz. The Vitz is actually cheap. The Vitz is cheap. The Vitz is like right now there is the new model Vitz is about 32 million, which is quite affordable. 32 million. So we would have actually saved 6 million had she been open to buying it. Pakunyanya, ompe tangauzi, ngaze wampa lulina carrot. Nazo mpayo za ttaano. Za ttaano. Ompe n'obutungulu bwa ttaano. Kale teekamu. So guys, gatekyuka your iPhone. Nathan, you are also tired of the iPhone. I think tomorrow morning we'll be using the Samsung. There is something wrong with the Samsung. Gatekyuka. We are offline. Eganye n'okukyuka. I want this thing to face me, but it has refused to face me. I don't know why. kirayo kawe wete bweyagala eganye eganye okukyuka okulaga face. I don't know why it has refused. It has. I don't know why, but anyway, why would it do that? Okay, tomorrow we are going back to our Samsung. We're going back to our Samsung tomorrow. Ekintu nze nkigula kimalako emirembe. So iPhones are overrated. Officially, iPhones are overrated. I'm going back to my Samsung. So anyway, guys, 38 million shillings is big money, yeah? But 38 million shillings can buy you a lot of Subarus. With you can actually, I think you can get a room at like 32. At like 32, you can get a room. One make up. So the room I find that the room Rama Charity Organization Church, at least we can hear you now. The message is louder than the first showing. So anyway, tomorrow guys, today Samsung yafu mukwemulisiza mu iPhone. Simanyi obe yampadde iPhone eno kwali ku live. Ngenda gimudiza nfudde Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I'm officially a Samsung guy now. Asa atefe abachibanja mpola. Can we come for your help? Such as Annington, I inspect for all people. Like guys, I've been telling you guys that I've been telling you that when you're buying a cash money, it's actually, you can literally go everywhere. But when you're buying on credit, you don't have a lot of options of places where you're going to buy a car. That's why people keep going to the same place. Money. Every time you hear someone saying, if you hear 10, you'll find that. You find that 80% of people that buy cars on credit buy from the same place, because it's the same place. It's one place that is so popular for selling cars on credit. So you end up being cheated because you don't have a lot of places you're sure you will be going, especially if you don't have like 70% of the value of your car. 70% of 100 million will be 70 million. You get, let me see, 70%. If you're going to buy a car of 26 million, what would be 70? 70% of, like, if you're going to buy like a Vit of 28, no, there's a Vit of 25, I think, the 2009 Vits, 25 million shillings. So if you're going to be buying a Vits at 25, you're going to need to have about 17.5 million shillings in cash. Then you'll get like a couple of places that will give you that car, and then you pay later. But if then you're buying, let's say a Kawondo of, let's say 60 million shillings, that's a 2012 model, then you'll need to have about 42 million shillings in cash. But if you happen to have like 30 million shillings and you want a Kawondo, the options of places for you to go become slim. You'll find that you literally have like two people that are willing to give you that credit. The reason why they ask for 70% is that at least with 70%, they can cover their part of their, like, most of their expenses. Oyinza okusanga ku 8 million kuliko amagoba ga million nga 5 gaali ako. For example, I've been informed by a number of traders that the IST costs $5,000 to buy from Japan. 5,000 3,800 is about 19 million shillings. And it pays about 13 million shillings in tax here, which means the IST okugireta nga tonnabala gundi no tonnabala na shipping ndowooza. So let's calculate that it's about $6,000, yeah. It means a trader asuubula IST, yeah, okugituusa mu kibanda kye n'ebeeramu before they pay damage, before they pay licenses, before they pay whatever. The car is about 35 million shillings. At least that's what I've been made to believe by a number of traders, because I normally don't ask one person. A number of people have told me that it pays about 13 million shillings in tax. So if it pays about 13 million shillings in tax, pa ejo mutwalo naye mpanga ngegisinga simengevu nnyo. Check it. So I think you guys now get why the IST is actually very expensive. So omusuubuze alaika agimalira million nga 3.4 oba 3 nga mu 3 awa 3.2. And no, they switch. I've used it before, Vinicuts. I've used it. I've used this. I've used the iPhone. I've used the iPhone for I don't know how many broadcasts. It switched. So I don't know why it's not switching now. It switched. I think even on Friday I used the iPhone still and it switched properly. Maybe it's a setting that I have tapped. So cash is better than credit, better to save for cash. Yes, Hannington, with everything you're buying, cash in Uganda, especially, cash is always better. If someone sells you something on credit, we buy a million and someone is selling you that car on credit, you'll probably buy it 40 or 41. You get, because they add that interest there. How is the resale value for the IST? The resale value is there, but then the question is going to be, are people willing to pay that much for the IST? The value is there. People love the car, but do they have that much money? That's the question that I want to ask yourself. Yeah, do the people have that much money? Which take it, right? Kati how IST we girira. I've been talking to a lady today that has booked me for inspection sometime, I think over the other week, and she wanted to buy the IST old model. And I've told her point blank, I don't think that car is worth the money that is being sold. You'll find someone selling a UBF IST old model, which is in very bad condition, at 19-20 million shillings. That's why there is a time we were moving with the lady, you remember? We tried to buy an IST and we could not find something good. And for me, when I'm buying with women, I'm very, very specific. Women get angry and irritated very fast. One small glitch in their car and they'll get. There is a lady that bought a Wish with us. The next day she scratched it. She bought it like today, and the next day she scratched the car. She called me and said, "Arthur, I'm selling the car." I asked her why. She said, "Well, it's too big." And I've also realized I could do with a cheaper car. You get something that I had already told her. I had told her before we bought the Wish. I told her, why are we buying? Why can't we just buy something smaller, something cheaper, and then you save a bit of money? And she did not want to know about that. Which again, ladies get irritated very fast. That's something I've realized about them. So when I'm inspecting a car for a lady, I am very, very particular about certain things. Men tend to be specific about what they want. They know. Men are normally looking for a specific thing, and it's normally not the aesthetics. But the ladies care a lot about aesthetics, but they also don't want to face any difficulty in their process of buying a car. You get, or in owning a car. So a lady is the kind of person that would want to drive a car for 2 years, where possible. So I'm very particular when I inspect cars for women, because I know that. And also when I'm inspecting for men, as long as a man comes and they say, Arthur, I've watched you on YouTube, I normally know what they want. That's why there are certain places you tell me, Arthur, bangambe moroka eri wano na wano na wano na wano. And I'll tell you, say, sigenda genda yokuba, moroka jo yagala teri yo. I'm normally like that. Like when we were looking for a chigenge, the budget is 23. That's why yesterday's inspection wasn't successful. The budget is 23. However, with a budget of 23, I'll share that story on Tuesday, guys, because the story is not yet complete. So, when we batereka ebintu ebigenda okukola oluguudo lwaffe olwa Semuto Road wano obirabye. After I wanted Toyota Porte, but they seem to be there. If you go to the bond, kyemanyi mu bond gye nene mu bond nabo nayo buto 10 million can get a picnic. Triple M, are there picnics in UB? I don't know because the Ipsam picnic is around 2000, 2002, I think to 2005. It's possible in Zofuna Yonga UB, AUBP. 10 million is actually too much for the Ipsam picnic. But if it's what you want and you find that it's in very good, you see the thing with Ipsam picnic, Obanga avuga kawundo. Okitegeera, with Ipsam picnic, ogenda kubanga avuga kawundo. And I am quite sure you don't want that kind of fuel consumption um, you don't want that kind of fuel consumption for the Ipsam. So I would actually recommend that you buy you buy another car. Yeah, 10 million. I find that 10 million is too much for that car. Ejakutama. I've not seen anyone that bought Ipsam picnic and they wanted to drive it for a very long time. Ah. So how about a road trip for the team, for the love of cars? Nathan Timothy Kisa, you guys should fundraise for that, yeah? Give me just 1 minute. Kanzije, mubale ku mmoloka katono katono. Aniono. Lawrence B, the brand name that iPhone sells. Katwale Moroka, your road will be constructed in a few casta. Otulaze Ovatereke again Okoro. Timothy Kisa, the Toyota Belter is a very good car. The Toyota Belter is a very good car. And the Belter is like the Vitz with the boot. The Belter is the Vitz with the boot, just the way the Platz was the Vitz with the boot in that generation. Just not make sure to not buy it with a 1 liter engine. Buy it with and don't buy it with a 1.3 unless it's a 2NZ. Only buy it with a 1.5 1NZ engine. Take the Uganda one. If you buy the Belter with the 1SZ, 2SZ, ojakubo yonona. Ojakubo yonona dala. So I would advise that if you're going to buy a Belter, buy the one with the 1.5 liter. Or babo osanganga irimu 2NZ, then you can also go ahead and buy it. Yeah. Mushotko. Nainga muli mutya. Akasende bakalemera triple M. We need to talk again to Rabe. Olabe demo at options is available. I find that the Ipsum Picnic is not a very good car. The Ipsum Picnic, me, I would not buy it. The Ipsum Picnic is I think it's if I were to list cars I would never buy, the Ipsum Picnic is there, top of the list, or at least in the top 5. Newer old model is a meter road tourer, field tourer, top 5 as well. I find that any EFI vehicle that has 1.8 liters and above is in the top 5. But I also find that any VVTI car that is 2.5 liters and above is also up there. If it's a 2 liter and it's a Valve-matic, then it's good. I can probably try that. Timothy. Hey, Timothy, you bees, yeah? I'm looking forward to that. Amina Hannington. King Daniel's church, man. What is the name? Nange ndi wano. Va mu gym katika ngende nebake. I'm trying to work on my sleep hygiene. Go on the anyono. Yani Chris Fitness yagamba, we need to work on sleep hygiene. We need to work on our sleep hygiene, and he said sleep hygiene is you sleeping nicely for the recommended hours, and I think an adult should sleep for 7 hours. I normally get 4 or 5 hours every day. I have tried, and it seems like my body has set itself, even on a Sunday like this one, when like I slept at 1. Yesterday we had a party. A friend of ours hosted us at his home. It was near my place. Nayabeera Matuga. And in Kungwali waba Emma. But there are 2 friends of mine that live in that area. Waba Emma we Kungu. So we were at one of them hosted us. One of them will host us at the end of the year again. But one of them hosted us, and I took some beers yesterday because I was trying to make sure I go home and sleep. Like sleep. But the beers did not help. When I got home and showered, the beers went off my head. I am telling you, it seems I have a very strong head. The beers went off after showering. Yeah, so I'm going to try and sleep a little bit earlier today. I'm going to try. Hey, your wish now, I think that wish it's also top there. Cars I would never buy. Which take it, cars I would never buy. Greetings, Arthur. Compare IST versus Subaru. Guys, only buy a Subaru if you're passionate about Subarus. Subarus lose value very fast. Only the Impreza doesn't lose value. Currently, Forester senior, but now where the prices of Foresters are going, it's only people that are very passionate about them. Kati Forester chisigaza waguru in price, is because the forest and the Kaundo are almost at the same height. So people that can't afford Kaundo end up buying the Forester because of the ground clearance. The Impreza doesn't lose that much value because the Impreza is like the most fuel efficient Subaru. So that's why it doesn't lose a lot. But still, people buy Imprezas when they have failed to buy cars like IST, they have failed to buy uh, cars like the Spacios, Paso Setes, and then they say, hey, what was Subaru? And then they end up buying a Subaru. Wakatuuka Kasulenga ate ndi mu basiibula. Ndi mu basi. Kana akakubo baakayisaamu greda. Rumors are there. Like one of my friends is in the army. One of my friends abo betwagenze okulaba ewaabwe Congo. One of them is in the army. And I was telling him why. They told me that the army is constructing this car road of ours. And he said, babyogera. And when he said babyogera, then I knew it's not going to happen because the person in the army should know. Like he's there at the source of the news. But I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. This road here goes all the way to 81. This road here. The people that have passed this way, probably money. King Daniels, I'm using iPhone, but I'm ditching it tomorrow. It doesn't give me what I want. Yeah. It's not friendly at all. It's not friendly at all. So I'm ditching it back for Samsung. I think I'm going to take this one back and they get me the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I don't even know if it has it. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't like the iPhone. I've tried to like it. There's nothing to like about the iPhone. It's not like it's faster. It's not like it has a better picture quality. It's not like it has apps that you would not be able to access on Android. But you see, just the way I drive some cars and I say now this car is not worth the price. I think it's the same thing that has happened with me to me with the iPhone. So I'm ditching it. Bro, you made me to like Mark II brand. I'm collecting some company like 10 million. I call you. Mark II brand is at 10 million. Uganda wange kati za bulumi. Actually, the past, I think the past two people that got Mark II brands got their options. I think that's one thing you need to keep at the back of your mind. They got their own options. Even the last Mark II brand we bought, I knew the owner. But I hadn't known that he had that Mark II brand. So this person got it through brokers. And the good thing is that I knew the owner, so we went straight to the owner. And that's how we bought it. But I don't know what is happening. And I think because I've talked about the Mark II so much, I think people are going to try and raise prices now. Amazima nti million kukuka wansi okuja ngofunye nga Corolla. I don't think I can recommend any other car apart from the Mark IIs because the Mark IIs are very good cars. Yeah. Thank you, King Daniels. The iPhone is not good. Hi guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Temunda be face because apparently the iPhone decides when it wants to switch. So tomorrow we are going back to our Samsung, and yeah, we're going back to our. It's phone holder. I'm going to replace this phone holder when I get home. I have an extra phone holder. I think this one has grown old. I've used this phone holder for like a year. It was really strong, so I kept the heads kept breaking, but the phone holder stayed. So I'm going to change the phone holder. I'm going to put a new phone holder today. So tomorrow the picture will be Council Patrick. Which comment? Let me see. Let me look for the comment. Council Patrick. Travel live vlog chechiriwo. Kaswe Ramadan. Hi. Let me see. Council Patrick. That's Chirawa. How much could that Spatio go for? The one I reviewed, that one could probably be like 20 million. Spacios are too overpriced. But people like Spacios. Me buying a Spacio of 20 million shillings in Yanamo bond in the Bamanja Yomokag. You get like the Spacios, most of you guys are buying Spacios now. You're going to be buying 2002, 2003 Spacios, 2003 models. But surprisingly, they are quite intact, yeah. But buying a 2002 model car at 20 million shillings, I'd rather buy a Sienta and getting a UPF at like 18. And if I don't live far away from my workplace,